I really need a haircut. Please, COVID, stop so I can get a haircut. The Switch Pro. There's new rumors. Let's talk about them together. Me and you as a family. Come here. Bring it in. I'm gonna hug you. Come here.
Come here now.
So due to the portability of the Switch, obviously there's been some hardware compromises. You can't get the same kind of performance that you do with an Xbox One or a PS4. Usually you can port the games over. They're just not maybe at the same frame rate. Maybe a little bit of a dip in resolution. Stuff like that. Not really going to be tenable when you have this new Series X, Series X. You have the PS5 coming out that are all these 120 FPS, 4K, something that Switch cannot obtain. But before we, rail on the Switch too much for being, like the least technologically advanced, let's just check it out really quick. Let's look at the Switch I got. Zelda case. Okay, I might have exposed myself for having it being dusty. Uh-oh. Fake gamer alert, guys. So, this Switch can play games at 1080p, 30 FPS docked, sometimes higher frame rate, and usually about 720p, 30-ish frames, sometimes lower when I'm just walking around. However, I took this with me the last time I was able to even go on an airplane. Let me tell you, it's badass when you have one of these on an airplane. People are like paying for Wi-Fi around me. No. I literally just played a game for 3 hours and it was great. Taking a Switch with you is a game changer. And I would love to see a Switch Pro where it can continue to support third-party games, hell, maybe even first-party games with higher technological specs. So, what's Nintendo gonna do? According to Bloomberg, Nintendo is gonna ask their third parties to make it so their games are 4K ready. Now, they are anonymous in the Bloomberg report because they don't want to get in trouble, but what I'm assuming that means is that they're saying, hey, make your assets next-gen ready. In November, you're going to be seeing a lot of next-gen systems coming out at the same time. PS5, Xbox Series S and X. I believe they're both confirmed for November. This is something Nintendo's definitely experimented with in the past before, of having these different versions where, you saw with like the 3DS, right? You had the normal 3DS, then you had like the 3DS Lite, 3DS XL. So it's not like Nintendo hasn't done this before. And right now, there's a Switch Lite. What's the last one? You tell me, Nintendo. It's not unbelievable, and it's been rumored for years, so hey, I think it is time for it to show its face. I didn't mute my phone. Guys, I'm the biggest boomer. Physically, I'm not, but mentally, I'm born in like 1955. Their Nvidia actually has the GPU is an Nvidia GPU in the Switches. And with Nvidia, they have this software that's out. Not software. It's part of their hardware. So their Nvidia DLSS, Deep Learning Super Sampling. Deep Learning Super Sampling. Say it 5 times fast. The DLSS makes it so you can take an image that normally would be a little bit lower resolution, and it learns. It learns from the samples. Wow. Hey, I am a #1 explainer of concepts, right? So it learns and it says, hey, these are how many pixels are in this area, and here's the shading. Here's how this works. It uses then AI learning to then expand that and increase the amount of pixels so it can go from like 1920 by 1080 to 2160 by 1440. Based on the actual same image, it can just create it at a higher dynamic resolution. People are speculating that Nintendo's going to be doing that because they use the Nvidia chips already, and they have that in like the GeForce Shield or whatever that thing is that's very similar to the Nintendo Switch architecture. So it's not like it would be crazy. It wouldn't be like another whole system. It wouldn't be like, here's your Switch 2 or the Wii Switch or whatever the hell they're going to call it. Whatever you do, don't talk to Xbox. Don't let them name it. Please. Some further proof that they're actually working on this right now is that there's a Twitter post from the game developer FDG Entertainment. They make a game called Monster Boy. And they're saying, hey guys, if you got this on the current gen system, on the next gen system, you'll get an update and it'll run natively at 4K, 120 FPS. So someone in the comments is like, oh crap, I bought the Switch version. This sucks. I guess I'll have to get another version on Xbox or PlayStation. They then replied, the FDG Entertainment people replied, and they said, hey, who knows? Maybe Switch has some next-gen hardware in the oven. Monocle winking emoji. Wink, wink. It'd be a great time for Nintendo to launch something right now for their diehard fans. There's not a ton of new games coming out first party that are exclusives. Right now, I think that there's pretty much Super Mario 3D All-Stars. That's coming out real soon in September. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. It's kind of like Dynasty Warriors, but for Zelda. That's coming out soon. There's the 2013 version of Super Mario 3D World from the Wii U. It's coming out in 2021, but there's not a ton of games that are coming out just for the Switch. And I think that this is kind of their strategy for the next business quarters to say, here's some new hardware you can buy, then please go buy our old games and see how different it looks. However, I say this every year, I thought 2020 was going to be an awful year for Nintendo because they didn't have a lot of exclusives, a lot of things got delayed, and then I was like totally proved wrong by Animal Crossing. It's the second most sold console from Nintendo in all of their freaking history. Even though there's coronavirus going on, people are still like bounding down the doors for Switches. It's sold out on Amazon all the time. They're finally catching up with the demand. Some other games that might come out that would actually benefit from a next-gen system, quote-unquote next-gen. Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, stuff that we know is going to be worked on and hopefully comes out before I go into an old person's home. To be honest, I feel like I'm already going to go into an old person's home because it's been so long since they've talked about Metroid Prime 4 and shown something. It seems like Nintendo is not going to have enough games, so maybe a next-gen high-end console, luxury console is the answer. But they also seem to have production issues. That's been the whole thing why you can't get a Switch right now. Everyone's saying, oh, it's really hard because of COVID. Now, I don't know if I should believe that because Nintendo's gonna Nintendo. Is it like the artificial scarcity part of it like they always have with their consoles? What a crazy coincidence. A super billion-dollar corporation has somehow not made enough consoles for like the 7th console release in a row. Oh, wow. It's definitely not a pattern. You know, that could be an issue if these Switch Pros are really wanted, you know, and they could send a lot to Best Buy, and you go into Best Buy and you're like, you got the new shipment on Tuesday, right? And they're like, we only got 4. Get out of here, kid. Get out. I think that they should keep pushing this boundary of trying to make it so you can actually take your games with you. And if they don't upgrade it, they're not going to get a third party. If they don't upgrade it, they're not going to get that third party. They're not going to get the money from the third-party ones because then the third-party games are going to get too advanced on the next-gen systems and they're not going to be able to go out on the Switch. It's going to be a Nintendo Wii system all over again where you can play Wii bowling, but you're not going to get any Xbox 360 games on the Wii. Nintendo needs to come in. You know, I want them to come with us. I want them to come with gaming. I want them to come with PCs. They shouldn't be held back by hardware. This is Chris, Wangless. I'm out of here. You guys have a great rest of your week. Smash like, smash subscribe. Do that every time you see these videos. Unsubscribe, then resubscribe, just to prove you're watching. Do I know you're alive? No. Do you know you're alive? No. You want to feel the thrill of being alive? Smash the like button. Smash subscribe. It'll make you feel alive. Alright, bye guys.